All right, we're back with the Sticks episode. We got number 11, Bush League Boys.
Who'd have thought?
This will be the last episode before we hit Red Sox winter weekend. We're coming in hot with, instead of a pod next weekend, we're going to be doing a little vlog action. So we got to edit that all up on Sunday and hopefully push it out by Monday. But first, we got business to take care of.
Before we get into this real quick, can I just touch on something that was totally unintentional?
I suppose.
If you look right over my left shoulder right here, we got Pete Richards in the background with us for this one, which is, that wasn't planned, but I feel like this is like the perfect episode for that to kind of happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's true. So, yeah. Shout out Jared.
Shout out
Coach Pete.
R.I.P.
Always.
I looked right in the left side of my camera. I'm like, fuck, dude.
That's amazing. But yeah, with that said, we're gonna be doing the Hall of Fame ballot episode, and as a lot of people know, Pete's basement was a lot like the Hall of Fame. We'd had baseball signed by Ken Griffey Jr., Yaz, Fisk, like all these guys. So this is the guy that basically gave the three of us baseball a lot of the time. He really brought us up. So this is fitting. This is fitting for sure. So do you want to touch on real quick about a couple of things that happened during the week? I know the big one that Carlos Correa ultimately goes to the Twins, and my favorite part about it was his Instagram post going, "I'm coming home." Shut the fuck up, you phony.
More like, "I'm coming back to my third choice." Sorry.
He's a fraud, dude.
There needs to be a book written.
So he passed over almost $850 million in signings over this offseason.
Telling you, there needs to be
even
a
this
book written about
offseason.
this
That's
whole
in
thing.
the last what, month?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stevie Cohen's looking like a real dick for paying for that physical.
So I saw a comment from Scott Boras that was talking about Steve Cohen, kind of trashing him a little bit. So basically, before they even started the negotiation, Boras reached out. He said, "These are the issues. This is what the Giants didn't like. Are you still willing to sign him?" He says, "Yes." You know what doctor he went for an opinion on Correa's ankle? The same fucking one that gave the opinion for the Giants. What is the point of that?
Dude,
what do you think's going to change?
I read that same thing.
That's a waste, dude. It's like, it's so stupid. It literally just felt like a charade.
I just don't understand what the thought process is there. Like, maybe Stevie tried to slip him a couple bucks under the table, be like, "Hey, give him the green light."
I don't know. It seems fishy, if you ask me. It seems really weird that he would do that, and then it almost seems like a publicity thing.
Yeah,
that he's almost like doing this, and then be like, "Oh, he's not good enough for the Mets."
Well, and like, I'm also curious, like, what allowed him to sign with the Twins, or what did a doctor see differently in his ankle or knee or whatever it was that.
Well, doctors can have differing opinions, and it could be Twins sign him for $150 million less. Like, oh yeah, we'll pay that.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is lower risk, where it's only a 6-year deal too, instead of a 10-year or 11-year deal. I think the Twins were willing to kind of chin the risk on that, and especially they paid him. His AAV is significantly lower for the Twins. I think the Twins got a deal, to be honest.
I still think the Twins are dog shit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean.
This gives the Twins a jersey to sell every year. That's it.
Hey, you put some respect on Byron Buxton's name.
Sorry. I know. Fine. This gives the Twins a second.
Who else do they have? Let's run down this real quick. They got Kevin
elite defender Gary Sanchez.
Is he even? He's a free agent, isn't he?
No, No, they have Vasquez. I forgot they did.
Oh yeah,
they got
Vasquez.
Vasquez.
So Gary's a free agent. Maybe the Red Sox will sign him. Just bring him in for a meme.
Right.
I hope not.
I'll take it for 1 year, $1 million.
I mean, I guess.
I don't even want him for that.
No. I'll take our chances with Connor Wong.
Seriously.
Connor Wong and
Reese McGuire.
Yeah, there we go.
The serial master.
Yeah, serial master.
Pee-pee toucher.
We have Jack Off and Wong.
Jack Off. His name is Reese. So yeah, the Twins.
That whole situation is just fucked, dude. It's quite honestly, I'm glad it's over because it was just like.
Another little current event I wanted to touch on. I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you guys see what Jose Canseco tried to do with Aaron Judge?
No.
Trying to get them to do a home run derby where Jose Canseco hits slow pitch softballs and Aaron Judge hits baseballs.
Stop it.
I did see that. Okay, yeah.
Saying that he could hit a softball further than Judge could hit a baseball. It's like, are you smoking crack?
Dude's on roids again. That's all.
No, I think he's on something other than that because that dude's gone off the deep end over the last 5 years.
He was supposed to be on. He was on Rough and Rowdy. Faced
didn't he get his shit rocked?
No, not even shit rocked.
He was like 30 seconds in, and he caught like a hook in his eye, and then said he threw out his shoulder or his back or something.
He threw the fight because either way he was getting like $2 million from Barstool for that. So
I can't imagine it's that much, but he's probably getting like $400,000 or $500,000. I bet.
No,
this is I think really $2 million.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
But he's a part of me wants to see that happen. Part of me wants to also see like a Mark McGwire Jose Canseco pay-per-view boxing match. Like that would be pretty fucking awesome.
I mean, Jake Paul started the celebrity boxing ring.
It was 1 million.
1 million.
Around $1 million. Yeah.
Took a dive for $1 million.
I remember listening to a podcast that Portnoy was pissed about it.
$1 million for a 12-second fight.
Yeah, because they refunded everyone money for that Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It's so bad, dude.
He's a joke, dude. He deserves
it. Really is.
And I know you have to know Aaron Judge isn't even going to pay that any sort of mind.
No.
That will never come across his desk.
That's when Aaron Judge slips him $1 million of his massive contract he signed just to shut the fuck up.
Right. I was like, do you think Judge has even seen that?
Part of me would love to see get Judge out of it. But give me juiced up Mark McGwire because he's still massive. Give me Barry Bonds. Give me Canseco, and send him to Vegas and do like where they have the PGA does like the match with Brady and Rogers and Nicholson and Tiger. Do that, but with like slow pitch softball for like McGwire, Canseco, Bonds.
Well.
And do it at like a Top Golf or something and put like targets up in the sky and shit.
Right, so instead of doing the Celebrity All-Star game at the All-Star Weekend this year, they're just going to get every roid head that ever got popped in the MLB and just do a game that way.
Well, what did they do?
I saw a video of Gary Sheffield hitting last week.
Scary.
Man still rakes.
Yeah.
What do they do overseas where they sent a bunch of ex-MLB players to do like home run derbies and shit? Do you remember that last?
Yeah,
they do a bunting competition in Japan. I don't want any part of what they're doing over there.
MLB did Home Run Derby X with
that's what it was.
Johnny Gomes, Nick Swisher, Adrian Gonzalez, Giovanni Soto. It kind of just tanked. It was really boring. I watched it.
Yeah, he'd bring back the roid heads.
It was just not good. I'm telling you, dude. Slow pitch softball. Fuck a Celebrity All-Star game. Do a Celebrity Home Run Derby.
Because I want to watch JoJo Siwa's dumbass run around the field.
Easy.
I'm saying.
Easy.
No, but I think it would be sick to just give these guys like 3 months, be like, juice if you want. Like, send The Rock out there and be like, I want you to train to hit a slow pitch softball for 3 months. They'd literally be hitting balls like 430 probably. It'd be nuts. It would be epic.
Give him a loaded bat too.
Oh, I'm all about it.
Just juice it all up.
Call up Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa, who is like literally white now because he like changed the color of his skin, Michael Jackson style. Anywho.
Yeah, all right. Moving on.
But yeah, that's enough Sammy Sosa talk for one day. So yeah, we can jump right into these ballots.
Trey Mancini real quick too. 2 years.
Trey Mancini to the Cubs. I like that signing, to be honest.
The Cubs did something this year.
They made a lot of good moves.
Yeah.
It might not be the best, but they got a good group of players.
No, yeah,
they could with.
But even still, that division is anybody's
wide open. Yeah. They could honestly, I think the Cardinals are probably a lock to win that division. But I think the Cubs could easily squeak out a wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even say the Cardinals are a lock anymore, dude. Like, they're loaded for sure, but with the moves that the Cubs made this offseason, they got some pitching, they got some hitters. If Cody Bellinger can be half of what he was during his MVP year, they could be scary.
The issue for me for the Cardinals and why they're going to be hard to take down is that two-headed monster and gold.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, for sure.
That's just, like, insane. That's probably the best 1-2 punch in baseball as far as overall just good hitters. Like, that's absurd. So, but I still really like Yeah, I mean, we don't talk about it. But I love the move to get Mancini. I love everything they've done. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. And at the end of the day, if you're not a team that you're really like ready to compete, the best you can do is just field a team that's exciting to watch with solid ball players, and that's what they've done.
I saw someone tweet today. They didn't make like the biggest splashes or the headline news, but they made good baseball moves, especially for their team.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
smart baseball moves. They didn't break the bank. They didn't go and sign any crazy players. The Dansby Swanson deal, very franchise.
What do you mean they blew a bag on Jamison Tyon?
What did they give him? Well, they kind of overpaid him, to be fair. But they gave him like $339 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They got a big contract out there. They're just not paying it. They have Hosmer.
That's true.
Shout out Padres for paying Hosmer to play for the Cubs.
Shout out Padres. But yeah, that's I like the Cubs going forward. I think that they got a nice look to them. It's that'll be a fun team down the stretch. I think you could see them kind of doing what the Cardinals did in 21, where they just make a late season run. They just finally pull stuff together. And that ultimately has catapulted the Cardinals into being one of the better teams in the National League. That one run that they had in 21. So I think the Cubs they're poising themselves to be. They're not an elite team, but a contender. They're poising themselves to be a legit contender for a wild card spot, even to win the Central. So you got to love that. I think the Cubs. If I'm a Cubs fan, I'm stoked on the offseason that they've had.
Cam, would you like to offer your input on who's going to win that NL Central division?
I still think it's the Cardinals.
Yeah. You're supposed to say the Pirates. Oh, they're East.
Sorry.
Are they Central? Okay.
They're Central. They're Central.
I'm over here having a
That's the weird one that the Phillies and the Pirates are in the same
Cam's a fake fan.
Pirates,
You're
Phillies,
right.
same
Sorry,
state.
y'all.
The Pirates are Central, Phillies are East. But
it's World Series or bust for my Royals. I'm just saying.
Speaking of Pirates, Andrew Mother sucking.
Oh shit! Yo, he
goes home to the Buccos. Raise the flag. Raise it. I love
Retire a Pirate. So happy.
God,
I don't think there's anybody in baseball who doesn't like that signing.
Oh my god, it's fucking perfect. I don't even know what they signed him for. I don't give a fuck what they signed him for. They could sign him for a bag of bubblegum and he probably would still pay for him. He doesn't give a shit. Like, he's just, if you're a baseball fan, you have to love that signing. That's just like Pujols going back to St. Louis. Like, it's something that had to happen. It just brings balance to the world of baseball. Like, it's awesome.
1 year, $5 million.
Yeah. Like,
it's
and
nothing.
he'll that's going to be a steal because he's still a solid big league player too. Dude still hit 17 home runs last year, 18 home runs.
17, I think we looked
still
it up.
Played like 120, 130 games in Milwaukee. So, and he had 17 home runs in a not hitter friendly ballpark in Milwaukee. So, I love to see it. I can't wait to see the homecoming he's going to get on opening day at PNC.
Everyone making sure they're walking opening day.
It's going to be electric, dude. I'm stoked for that. Yeah, I think that kind of covers all the stuff that happened this week. I don't think.
I think that's it.
Yeah, so we can jump in. So we got the 2023 BBWAA ballots. We're looking at them. That's how we made our selections. Chris, you got the rules, so I don't know if you want to run it down so that people know how the voting works.
Yeah. So obviously, it's held every year. Only active honorary members of Baseball Writers Association of America who have been there for at least 10 years can vote.
And Bush League Boys.
And Bush League Boys. Obviously, our votes do matter.
Yep.
Eligible candidates. So this is kind of where it gets meaty. A baseball player must have been active as a player in the major leagues at some time during a period beginning 20 years before and 5 years after, or 5 years prior to election.
Okay.
So they had to have been out of the league for at least 5 years now. Players must have played in 10 Major League Championship seasons. Let's see. This just talks about if somebody died. Not a big deal.
They get
That's morbid.
If they pass away, it's quicker, right?
Yeah. So in case of death of an active player or a player who has been retired for less than 5 years, a candidate who is otherwise eligible shall be eligible in the next regular season election.
Caveat on that one.
Yeah.
Has Roy Halladay gone on the ballot yet?
Has not.
Nope.
So he didn't get the special thing.
I mean, it could.
He's definitely been out of the league for more than 5 years.
Yeah, but just because he's been out for 5 years doesn't necessarily mean
you have to be pushed in by. Yeah, okay.
Right. Right. So method of election, screening committee consisting of writers will be appointed. We knew that. What's this say? Alphabetical order, eligible candidates who received one vote on a minimum of 5% of the ballots cast in the preceding election are eligible for the first time and are nominated by any two of the 6 members of the BBWAA. An elector will vote no more than 10 candidates, which I don't think anybody ever votes 10.
No.
Write-ins are not permitted. Any candidate receiving votes on 75% of the ballots shall be elected as a member of the Hall of Fame.
So how do you get on the ballot? Does it say that?
Let's
also,
see.
Side note, we're shit fans because Roy Halladay is already in the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know what year he was elected. It must have been the year he passed away, which I think was like 2016, 2017.
On this one that I'm looking at, it doesn't say how you get put on.
Interesting. Okay.
In 2019 was when he went in.
When did he pass? Do you have that? Is it 2018 he passed?
And I'm pulling up his Wikipedia page.
Okay.
They're never wrong.
Let's see. It's fitting because the duly authorized representatives of the BBWAA shall prepare, date, and mail ballots no later than the 15th day of January, which is
today. We nailed that completely by accident.
Yep.
We did not know. 2017, Sam.
2017. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say he deserves to be in there. Ooh, a little spin zone. Looking at his baseball ref, he had 1 career save.
Fun fact.
Ooh.
Had to have been his rookie season, right? Nope, second season with Toronto.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah,
interesting.
So I'll rattle off all the names that are on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can kind of go down the line and see who we did and didn't pick. So from 1 all the way down, because I believe it has to do with how long
they've been on and how many percentage of the votes they got last year.
Yeah, this one I have here is in alphabetical order, but the one that they actually send out, I believe, has to do with percentages and rank.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at is broken down by percentage order, and then...
Okay. So I'll just read this one. It's alphabetical order. So we got Bobby Abreu, Red Sox legend, Bronson Arroyo, Carlos Beltran, Mark Burley, Matt Cain, R.A. Dickey, Jacoby Ellsbury, Andre Ethier, J.J. Hardy, Todd Helton, Torrey Hunter, Andrew Jones, Jeff Kent, John Lackey, Mike Napoli, Johnny Peralta, Andy Pettit, Manny Ramirez. I just almost said Manny Rodriguez. Manny Ramirez, Alex Rodriguez, Francisco Rodriguez, Scott Rowland, Jimmy Rollins, Gary Sheffield, Houston Street, Omar Vizquel, Billy Wagner, Jared Weaver, and Jason Worth. So I personally only picked 5 of these guys. There is a 6th one that I didn't really look into that Chris made a good point on before we went live that I probably would pick now, but I also sort of base mine on not necessarily guys who I think have to get in this year. I basically just picked the guys from this list that I think deserve to be in at some point.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, do we want to maybe go by like columns? Do you guys have the same one that's in alphabetical order or no?
So I have the one on Baseball Reference open. That just goes by percentage.
Same.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
then.
the one I'm looking at.
All right.
But if we want to, we can just go down a list, we can each pick one, and then if we have it, we can each touch on it.
Yeah, sure.
So if you want to kick us off with your first one, and then we'll see if me and Cam have it as well.
All right, so my first one's Carlos Beltran.
I didn't have him.
I did not have him.
He's a controversial one because of the 2017 Astros thing. But to me, here's the thing, right? Sure, he was involved with it, but they handed out suspensions that were just. They picked who needed to be suspended as being a major part of it. He never was suspended for anything.
Mm-hmm.
He never caught any flack for it, really. And the thing is you're playing for an organization, and if it's orchestrated by the GM and the coaching staff, you can't really refuse to go along with it. It's not going to work.
Contract.
Right. Yeah. So ultimately, I personally don't hold that against him, especially where that was the last year of his career. That was his age 40 season that happened in. I think he barely even played in the playoffs. dude hit 14 home runs and had 51 ribs. Like, he wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. But to me, like, when I'm looking at a Hall of Fame guy too, I think stats speak a lot too, but I try to remember when this guy was playing, how dominant he was, and how he, like, try to think of this was like a pivotal player in that era. And Carlos Beltran was a stud. Like, dude, Rookie of the Year, 9-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove, 2-time Silver Slugger. I think he finished, let's see how many times. So he finished top 10 in the MVP in 1, 2. So he finished top 10 MVP twice. That's not great. But the All-Stars, he played for a lot of pretty bad teams, which I think kind of hindered him. But still, at the end of the year, end of the season, almost 3,000 hits, 435 home runs, hit 279, career WAR over 70, and 312 stolen bases, and only was caught stealing like 70 times. Like, he was just very efficient, very consistent. And to me, he's kind of on an outside looking in sort of thing, but I don't know. I could see him sneaking in eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not holding the whole cheating scandal over his head. Especially because nothing ever really came of it from his end, like it did for Altuve or any of those other guys.
Right.
So, and especially being a first-year guy this year, I can definitely see that happening.
Right.
Just in other news, just not even baseball related, did you guys just get that ESPN notification?
No. I don't know.
Alabama men's basketball player charged with capital murder.
Okay.
All right.
That happened fast.
That wow. Okay,
they just had a game yesterday. He didn't play, but
maybe he was pissed he didn't play.
He's like injured or something like that. Anyway, back to baseball.
All right.
Sorry, I was in a whole different place. My first one that I had on here, and I didn't necessarily put this in order either. I kind of just put 5 that I thought had a case. Scott Rowland was the first one that I had.
I also have him.
6 year on the ballot, 63% last year, so he's kind of teetering on that edge. It's just a guy who was kind of, I wouldn't say he was great, but I wouldn't say he was average either. Obviously, he's on the Hall of Fame ballot, but hitting 281, 316 home runs, over 1,200 RBIs. I mean, he's solid, 63% again last year. Me, personally, just because I didn't think any of these other guys really had much of a better case other than Beltran, I personally don't think he gets in, but I would not be surprised to see him get in, if that makes sense. I just couldn't really go any other way with like any of these other guys like freaking Omar Vizquel and like Torrey Hunter's on. Like I just couldn't see any of those guys getting in. So I think if there's anybody that's not going to get in that has a chance to get in, it's going to be Scott Rowland.
The one thing I will say on Scott Rowland's part, he's 10th all time amongst third basemen in WAR, career WAR. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's an impressive stat because there's been some legit third baseman. Like,
so on this,
that's insane.
On this baseball ref page, it has a career WAR, and it says a single number that represents the number of wins the player added for pitchers that also contains their batting WAR, but like all that, just explaining what WAR is. Mm-hmm. Any idea what his is, Cam? I know you probably have it open, but
I have it written down and I have it open, but
you said
I'll let Sam guess.
So Scott Rowland's WAR, you said?
Yeah, his career WAR.
I'm gonna go 78.
You're close. 70.1. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You have any idea what Alex Rodriguez is? Another third baseman?
So he had the exact same career WAR as Carlos Beltran. That's weird.
Yeah. I want you to take a guess what A-Rod's is.
Again, I've already looked, but
this is like 98 or something.
Higher.
140?
Lower. No.
121.
You're close. 117.
That's crazy. But he's a roid head. So so I also read a thing that so when I said that Scott Rowland was 10th all time in WAR, the other 9 are Hall of Famers, I believe, outside of Alex Rodriguez. And so the other 9 are either Hall of Famers, not including Alex Rodriguez, or will be when they come eligible. And do you know who that other one would be? The one he's not a he's retired. He's not hasn't hit the ballot yet. But he's 8th, I think, right above Scott Rowland.
For third baseman?
Yeah. Played for the Red Sox for a hot
Adrian
minute.
Beltre.
Beltre, yeah. As soon as you said it.
Yeah, for a hot minute. But yeah, Beltre was...
all-time Adrian Beltre moment was when they were losing that game like 18-1 and the umpire told him to get back in the on-deck circle. And he
all-time Adrian Beltre moment was when he ruptured his testicle. Love that.
Yeah.
Who do you got, Cam? From Roland.
I got Gary Sheffield. And again, I didn't do any order. I just kind of picked one.
I had Gary Sheffield also.
So 9-time All-Star.
His stats don't lie.
Yeah. So I was looking at it too. Did you guys look at career WARs for anyone else who's already in the Hall at all?
Not really.
So what do you think? Did you look? What do you think his WAR is? And Chris, I know you have it up. You do? Okay.
But his WAR is egregiously low.
So what do you think Ortiz's WAR was?
His is probably not that high because he didn't play defense.
Right. So I just had he's higher than
Sheffield's is?
Yes.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. He has a 60 and Ortiz had a 55.
That shows you just that WAR is kind of an outdated stat for the most part.
Exactly.
OPS plus for me, all-time OPS plus is a really good stat. So Sheffield's all-time OPS plus is 140. Yeah. So I mean he's 40% above average as far as OPS goes. Pretty damn good. The dude had over 500 home runs, and he never got suspended for juice. How can he not be in?
And all-time batting stance.
Oh, absolutely, all-time. I can remember a little fun fact for you. I remember one time when I was a kid, I was at the beach doing that with a wiffle ball bat, doing this shit, right? And
you whacked somebody in the head.
No, I whacked a bumblebee out of the air clean with one of these swipes. The thing came after me, and I had to book it. So blame that one on Chef. But yeah, I don't.
He's running out of time though.
What's keeping him out? Like, what is there something? He had to have something. I don't think he ever got suspended for PED. Oh, he did. I think in before there was even actual rules. I think he got suspended for like illegal substance or something. I'm just remembering this now. It was like in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, he got suspended in 2008.
Oh, really? So is that okay? So never mind. Then it was
when he was playing for the Tiger. Oh, that was different. That was for a fight. That was for the fight.
Oh, okay. No, I mean ruined by. Okay, let's see. Gary Sheffield's Hall of Fame chance is ruined by Balco.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. Balco.
Was he basically? So I don't think he ever tested positive. He appeared on that list.
Yeah.
Of like players that were receiving treatment from Balco, which I think is the same one that Clemens was on. I think there's a laundry list of players that were on that list. So again, it's a weird one like Bonds where he never actually tested positive. He was never suspended during his career. So how do you hold it against him? Like the dude has over 500 home runs. How many players all time have 500 runs? What is it, like 27? I think.
Yeah. So I'm reading an MLB report saying he was the first major leaguer involved in the Balco report.
Yeah, but he never got a suspension for it.
Nope. Like, put him in.
That fight he got in was kind of funny. And he fought Fausto Carmona.
Yep.
I remember that.
Stan coming over from first base. Like, you've never seen that.
And he was old as balls when it happened too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's like in his upper 30s.
He don't give a fuck. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Gary's kind of running out of time. He's on his 9th year, but...
And he's only at 40. I don't think he gets in. I think he should be in, but...
I don't know, dude. If there's a year where he's going to make a jump...
it would be this year.
If there's a year he's going to take a big jump, this is going to be the year.
So I think, unfortunately, him and Andy Pettitte are tied at the hip, I think. Because they came up... I believe Andy Pettitte was also part of the Balco scandal.
He was. I looked that up, too.
So... And they're playing at the same time. I don't think Andy Pettitte's numbers are the level that Gary Sheffield's are, but still, they're solid. But Gary Sheffield being 26th all time on the home run list, if you have over 500 home runs, That's like writing your hall pass into the Hall of Fame. Like there should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mm-hmm. To me, if you hit over 500 home runs, you should be a first ballot Hall of Famer every damn time. Like Miguel Cabrera.
First ballot, huh?
Yeah, I think if you hit 500 home runs, no question in my mind. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but you hit 500 home runs in this game. We've been playing this game professionally for over 100 years. There's been, 25,000 players that have played in the MLB, and only 28 of them have hit over 500 home runs. Your first ballot. That's 0.00001%. Like your first ballot. Like you are.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Like Miguel Cabrera.
If Miggy's not a first ballot, something's wrong.
Well, he also has 3,000 hits.
Triple Crown winner.
Hit career average over 300. 1,500 runs scored, 1,800 RBIs.
Yeah.
He had a stolen base this year. What the fuck?
Catcher had a fucking stroke.
It had to be a back end of a double steal. Otherwise, there's no way he could have stolen a base.
Oh, shit.
Anywho, but to me, Sheffield is... I'll die on that hill that if you hit over 500 home runs, you're a first ballot Hall of Famer.
It's fair.
Yeah. That's it. Like, based on percentages, you have to be.
Yeah. I mean, fair. I'll kick off this next one, and I guarantee you neither of you have this on here because Sam already basically offered his 2 cents on it. Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, nope. Yeah, no shot.
No. Yeah, I have A-Rod on there.
He got a PED suspension, so you have to. Like,
right. Well, he in his first year, he got 34.5%.
Right.
I get he got popped. I get it, and being as big of a fan of baseball as I am, I fucking hate it, and I don't want to put him on there. But, I mean, dude, he fucking rakes.
Well, here's the thing, like, the case you make for him is the same case people make for Barry Bonds. They're like, well, before he was on juice, he was still nasty. He's like, yeah, he was. So why did he take juice?
Yeah.
Right.
Why was he doing gear? And it's just, and my biggest problem with Alex Rodriguez is that he popped in the 2000s.
Yeah, that was my thing.
He didn't pop in the 90s when everybody was doing it. He popped in the 2000s in a time where it was very clearly in literature that you couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, if Barry Bonds doesn't get in and he didn't even get a suspension, and A-Rod got a suspension?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm just looking at it from a factual standpoint where...
Oh, no, I 100% agree as far as numbers go.
If he was never caught or never suspended, I think he's in first ballot.
If he never served a suspension, it's the same case as Barry Bonds.
Exactly.
Same exact case.
Yeah.
So it's... Yeah, I don't know. I don't... If you look at his stats, he's 100% deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but based on how they voted, I don't think he'll ever get in.
I think he gets in, if not this year, then next. Yeah,
so I want to.
Dude got almost 35% on his first year.
Have you seen it the last 3 years though? You know how many votes have gotten changed? People rescind votes that they put in for guys in past years. It happens a lot.
Yeah, but I feel like
I think Clemens got less votes this year than he did last year, or whatever.
He did.
Well, so everything that's happened with Clemens in the last however many years, I feel like it makes sense that naturally his goes down, given everything.
Him and Schilling went down at the same time.
It's not like the whole steroid thing came out about A-Rod yesterday. It's like people voted on him knowing what had happened.
That's true.
Well, Roger Clemens is a perpetual asshole too.
Yeah.
Well, A-Rod's also kind of an asshole, but not even to the level that Roger Clemens is.
He was an asshole playing, but I feel like he's gotten a lot of good graces from reporters now because he works for ESPN, and he's kind of...
He sucks balls as a
baseball analyst. Terrible. I know that, but...
When I do the K-cast with Michael K and him, it literally makes my ears bleed. It's so bad. But yeah, no, A-Rod stats-wise should be in, but I don't think he will.
I want to pivot. We'll go to the other steroid guy. We'll just talk about Manny in general. What do you guys think?
Manny Ramirez?
Yes.
I had him.
I mean, again, based on my last statement, I don't have him on this ballot because of the PEDs and stuff.
I don't think he gets in this time. But
based on my thing I just said, he's number 15 all time on the home run list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's I mean, he's another guy that I think he should be in. Yes. Do I think he's gonna get in? No. He's in his 7th year already, and he's only at 28%. So
yeah, I mean, but his numbers are nuts.
His numbers are disgusting. But just same thing that we said with A-Rod, the PEDs. It's just
Manny's number one all time in postseason home runs, which I didn't know until today. Second in RBIs.
You know who's second in all time?
Chris Kenyon. There it is.
We got one. Jared put it up on the. You know who's number 2 all time in postseason home runs?
Isn't it Ortiz?
Reggie Jackson.
He's still playing. He's active.
Albert? No.
He retired.
Don't rip my shirt off, bro.
It's Altuve?
Is it really?
He has like 20. He has like 23 career home runs.
Springer's got to be kind of up there a little bit.
He's relatively. I think Springer's like 4th or 5th, but Altuve has a fuckload of.
I mean, when you know what pitch is coming, it's kind of easy.
It was one postseason.
Sorry,
we got to let this die.
I want to see how many home runs did he hit in that postseason.
Oh, I think he had. I mean, he didn't hit as many as Randy Rosarena in 20. So,
going back to the Manny thing,
I also think isn't Manny the all-time leader in Grand Slams? Also,
probably.
I thought I heard that. Yeah,
but dude has 29 postseason home runs and 78 RBIs. That's like considered a pretty good season for any other normal hitter.
He won a batting title. He won a World Series MVP. 12-time All-Star.
12-time All-Star. 9-time Silver Slugger. Hank Aaron Award winner.
Oh, yeah, Altuve.
To me, if A-Rod gets in, Manny has to get in, no?
Yeah.
I agree. It's the same precedence that's keeping them out, and they both have ungodly numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like from aside from home runs, Manny's stats taking everything as a whole into consideration, like not gold gloves, silver sluggers, and all-stars and all that. Good. I think he might be better.
Yeah, he might have a better chance than A-Rod just because he's also a much more well-received player too. I think a lot more people like
Manny
him.
Being Manny.
Yeah, I mean those years for the Red Sox
were just disgusting.
Yeah. A long 8 years that he played for the Red Sox.
We just need to forget about that cutoff that he had.
No, we don't forget about that. That was amazing.
The only reason he cut it, you know why we don't cut it off? Who threw the ball that he cut off?
Johnny Damon.
Damon. You want to know why? Fuck Johnny Damon.
Oh, no.
What?
Anyways, Altuve had 7 home runs in 2017.
Did you find the all-time list? Was I right that he's number 2 all-time?
I didn't. No, I just looked up his stats.
I'm like 99%.
He has 23 postseason home runs.
Yeah, so I think he is number 2 all-time.
Most career postseason home runs. Manny's 1.
Yeah.
Altuve's 2. Bernie Williams is 3.
Bernie.
Derek Jeter's 4.
I mean, he probably had 600 at-bats in the postseason. He probably has a full season.
So based off that, how many home runs do you think he hit in 2022's postseason?
Hit none, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
7-1, 5-5-5, and then 0.
Derek Jeter played 158 postseason games.
That's a full season.
Yeah. Yep.
Albert Pujols and Springer are tied in 5th. Reggie Jackson, Mickey Mantle, Nelson Cruz, Correa, Ortiz, Jim Thome.
That's crazy how far Ortiz is down, and you realize because dude didn't have a ton of home runs, just every home run he hit
was massive.
Either won a game or put them ahead to go close out a game.
Yeah. Just Manny, 29 postseason home runs is fucking bonkers.
Well, in that 04 playoff run, he had I think the Randy Rosarena's record that he took in 2020, I believe it was Manny's record before. Or no,
who'd Manny play for before the Red Sox?
Cleveland Indians.
Okay, just making sure.
Before they were the Guardians, and then he went for the Dodgers, then the White Sox, and then the Rays. And then he also believed he was like a player coach for the Iowa Cubs at one point.
Bro, so in 2008 when he was playing for the Dodgers at 36 years old, dude went 13 for 25 with 4 home runs in 8 games.
Wow.
God. Hello? Dude, just fucking sick.
Yeah, put him in if you're putting A-Rod in. Put them both in.
Yeah, I agree. It's the same precedence that keeps them both out. So if one goes in, the other has to. And then again, I think if any of those guys go in, Gary Sheffield also has to go in.
Mm-hmm. And then you have to look at, I don't know. I've always been a proponent that Bonds and all them should be in anyways, but
it's an era of baseball to me, and they did it at a time where it wasn't strictly illegal. So, and like people were like, "Well, Babe Ruth didn't do it, Mantle didn't do it." They were fucking hitting home runs off of plumbers. Like most of the dudes that they were playing against had to work jobs in the office.
This guy was working a 9 to 4 cleaning my toilet, and now he's fucking throwing slop over the plate.
He rocks up at 7:00 with freaking WD-40 on his hands, using that as a spitball. Like
that was their spider attack back then. It didn't work very well,
dude. Yeah, I think again those three guys, and I think the most interesting one is. I shouldn't say most interesting. Another interesting one, if those guys get in, is Andy Pettitte. But I think as of now, he's kind of on the outside looking in because his stats aren't quite there, I don't think. But,
yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Who I had next here. Oh, I got a good one. I don't know if you guys will have this one.
I only have one other that we haven't touched on yet.
I got two. So I got Andrew Jones.
I actually do have him.
And let me give you some numbers as to why I think Andrew Jones is a Hall of Famer. So people already are talking, because Mike Trout's what, 31?
Yeah.
31, 32?
Mm-hmm.
If you compare, so Andrew Jones also debuted at 19, Mike Trout debuted at 19. If you look at their career numbers from ages 19 to 30, it is mind-blowing how good Andrew Jones was. He was better than Mike Trout. So, just going down the list, Andrew Jones had 140 more hits, only scored 7 less runs, had 200 more total bases, 18 more home runs, almost 200 more RBIs, 40 more extra base hits. His defensive WAR, get this, 24 points higher. And then Mike Trout's offensive WAR was 82.1 and Andrew Jones is 64.2. That still gives that would give Jones a total WAR of 90.8, and it would give Trout one of 84.5. So Andrew Jones, the only deficit that he has, the only shortcoming he has for a Hall of Fame candidacy is he didn't have a super long career. He played for 15, 16 years, and like he teetered off. But yeah, well, I'm just guessing. Yes, 17. You're right. Which really, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that long for a prolific hitter like him. But the dude had a freaking 10-year stretch where he didn't hit below 30 home runs, and he won. Yeah. Crazy enough, he didn't win an MVP, but 5-time All-Star, 10 Gold Gloves,
1-time Silver Slugger. He only won it once, but still.
He's a guy for me. He hit 434 home runs, hit 250, had 2,000 hits. I think the biggest thing is that that batting average is brought down by the numbers later in his career. But if you take that heart of his career, his second year to like year 10 or 12, his stats are unbelievable. So I don't know. He's a hard one for me to keep out.
Yeah. According to Baseball Ref, he is considered just over likely to get in.
Okay. I mean, he had a 51 home run year with 128 ribs. Like, hit over 40 home runs twice. Hit over 30 home runs like 6 times. I don't know. I'll rest my case there. But if people are already saying that Mike Trout's a Hall of Famer based on his numbers now, literally saying he could retire now and be a Hall of Famer. If that's true, then Andrew Jones also has got to be a Hall of Famer.
Without looking at the list, Cam, because I know you have this one open, I'm curious. Out of all these people on the list, who do you guys think, according to Baseball Ref, is the least likely to get in?
Let me look. Let me look at the list. I don't have the numbers. I just want to look at the list.
Is the least likely?
Cheating.
I won't
Least
cheat.
likely.
The least likely? I got to imagine it's either Johnny Peralta or Andre Ethier.
So I have them written down a little bit, Chris, so I can't guess, but I know who it is already.
Who's least
Who
likely?
is it, Cam?
I have Bronson.
Yeah.
Bronson Arroyo's the least likely?
Yeah.
Bronson Arroyo is considered
That's
the
true,
least likely out of everybody on that list.
Who are the next ones? Do you have? Is Ethier?
So Bronson Arroyo, Mike Napoli is next, JJ Hardy,
and then
Jason Worth,
and
Andre
then
Ethier.
Really?
R.A. Dickey, Matt Cain, then Johnny Peralta.
How the hell is Matt Cain below Johnny Peralta? Dude threw a perfect game. That alone should give him a little brownie point. Get him up over Johnny Peralta.
Well, should Dallas be in? Because he threw a perfect game?
Yeah. Technically,
right.
if you ask him, he is in the Hall of Fame because it's like a ball from his game. That's at Cooperstown.
There
Dallas
is.
Braden,
I
friend of the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Legend.
Yeah.
More famous for his commentary skills than his baseball skills. But
most famous thing he did was tell A-Rod to get the fuck off his mound.
That's classic.
That was awesome.
And he still does not like A-Rod.
Dallas Braden's a legend.
So did you have Andrew Jones, Chris, or no?
I did not.
Interesting. Okay.
I have one other guy.
Go ahead.
Who you got?
We talked about him before, not today, but in past episode. Todd Helton.
He was my
I
dark
also
horse.
have him.
I had Todd Helton on there. So 5th year on the ballot, 5-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove, 4-time Silver Slugger. Hit over 300 12 times, 372 in 2000.
316 career hitter.
Yeah. Made it to a World Series in 07 with the Rockies.
Shout out Red Sox.
So yeah, shout out Red Sox. He's another guy that I don't think necessarily gets in this year. He got 52% last year, so I think he's on the edge this year. But I think come next year,
a late ballot guy.
Yeah, getting in. I would say next year is probably his first realistic chance.
Well, I think especially where like kind of one of the modern perspectives on it is they want to have all the teams represented. Currently, right now, there's only one Rocky in the Hall of Fame. It's Larry Walker. And really, if you like those Rockies teams, to me, Todd Helton was still the face of that franchise the whole time Larry Walker was there. So I mean, Todd Helton's also one of those guys. He's a fan favorite. Everybody loves him. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I think his numbers are there. He's got a 133 OPS, 2,500 hits, almost 400 homers. He won 3 Gold Gloves, won a batting title, 4 Silver Sluggers. Like the accolades are there, and he played for the same team for that long. He was so damn consistent the whole entire time. Like even his last year in the league, hit 249 in his age 39 season with 100 hits and 15 dongs. Like he produced his whole career. One
thing I found crazy with him, he has more career walks than fucking strikeouts.
Yep.
That's just insane.
Patient hitter.
Yeah.
Unbelievably patient hitter. To me though, he's I feel like a guy that kind of comps to him well. He doesn't have quite the overall statistics, but a guy who comps to him that didn't get in is Kevin Youkilis. But Uke didn't quite have the numbers that Todd Helton did. Let me see. So
once again, Hall of Fame.
He only had 150 home runs, 1,000 hits, but didn't play quite as long either. But I feel like they comped pretty well. Kind of crazy that Uke only won 1 Gold Glove too. But yeah, I'd love to see Todd Helton get in. I think he deserves it too.
Yeah.
That was my kind of closet dark horse pick that I didn't really throw on my ballot, but he was the next guy I had up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is all I had, Sam. So if you had one more.
Oh, I got one.
Oh, boy.
I know who.
Himmy. It's my boy, J-Roll, Jimmy Rollins. To me, again, a guy who I don't think his stats quite speak to how good of a player he actually was. He still has damn good stats. Like 264 career hitter, almost 2,500 hits. But he had, 10,000 at-bats, 230 home runs, almost 500 stolen bases, 1,400 runs. OPS pretty much dead on all-time average, but his defensively, he was money. 4 Gold Gloves, Silver Slugger. He won an MVP. He was the core of that disgusting Phillies team from the late 2000s with Victor Reno and Jason Worth.
Chase Utley was there, wasn't he?
Utley.
Mm-hmm.
Just so many so many great memories for me growing up watching Jimmy Rollins play, and he's just super consistent hitter too. Like he only hit over 300 once, but basically his whole career he was hitting upper 200s and getting tons of knocks too. I feel like it's more of a detriment to him that like how much he played is the reason why his average is so low, because the dude had 700 at bats, 800 at bats every year. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, he's a Hall of Famer. He's an icon of the game. He's one of the best Phillies of all time, if you ask me. So I'm a big Jimmy Rollins fan.
Bobby Abreu, best Philly of all time. Don't hate.
I had him down as a guy that I didn't personally put in, but I could see arguments for him being in the Hall. So yeah, I agree.
Oh, for me, sense. I think he's on the outside looking in. I think he's on one of his first ballots. No,
second. Yeah, second. And according to Baseball Ref, he is considered very likely to get in.
Yes, I love it. And especially he's such an ambassador of the game too. With everything he does for the game, he does a great job commentating. I think he has a lot to do with the PA too, the Players Association. I think he's still involved with. So he's a guy who I'm shocked hasn't become a manager yet. To be honest, he just seems like the perfect guy for it. Same with Chase Utley. Really, I don't know what Chase Utley's doing. I gotta imagine he's still involved with baseball in some capacity. But those two guys when I was growing up, Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins, were like, I love them. They were amazing. One of the most exciting middle infields ever. Until Chase Utley played for the Dodgers and murdered Ruben Tejada sliding into second base. That guy was like, all right, Chase, my fault, dog. But yeah, I'm excited to see what these ballots look like.
There's one guy who's going to be removed from the ballot after this year. Siri, shut up, you.
Sorry!
There's one guy on this ballot who will be removed after this year.
Let me see. Yep. Is it Omar?
Nope.
No.
Is it...
None of us said him, right? No. None of us said him.
Is it Burley?
No.
Is it Billy Wagner?
No. Burley's only on year 3, and no.
Billy Wagner, too? Really?
No, he's on 8.
Yeah, he's on 8. You're closer.
Weaver?
Nope. Weaver's on 1.
I know. He's an early one. Let's see. Bobby Abreu?
Nope.
Really? Who is it?
He's on 4.
4. It is Jeff Kent.
That's right. And there was a lot of people a few years back that voted for him, and then a lot of guys took their votes back.
Yeah, 32% last year.
Yep. There was Dan Shaughnessy from the Boston Globe saying if David Ortiz is a Hall of Famer, Jeff Kent has to be a Hall of Famer. I'm like, where did you buy your crack from? Because that place needs to be shut down.
No, they're selling the good stuff.
I mean, I guess just if you're buying your nose candy from there, you're not allowed to be in the Baseball Writers Association of America.
Get them out of here.
My dark horse Hall of Famer is going to be none other than R.A. Dickey.
Ooh.
I was thinking Gary Sanchez, honestly. I think he's on a Hall of Fame projection.
Yeah, he is.
With all those gold
defense
gloves.
alone. Yep.
His D-War's got to be crazy.
Mine is Jacoby Ellsbury for the all-time theft of the Steinbrenner's money.
That man should be in prison, not the Hall of Fame.
Serious. He conducted one of the greatest heists in modern American history. Christ. Just like him and Hosmer's up there,
Bobby
too.
Bobby Bonilla.
Oh my, yeah.
Who was another one? Cam said he was going to be a big player this year. Christian Yelich. That contract with the Brewers is pretty bad.
Yeah.
He has not made
He's
that
not
thing
lived up
pay
to
out.
it. Not at all.
No. Yeah, I think that kind of covers our Hall of Fame ballots. We'll see. When did the results come? It's the end of the month, right?
Yep. 24th, I thought I said.
24th? Okay. Yeah, so we'll cover that when it comes out. Kind of touch on it, see what's what. But yeah, I'm excited to see. It's so fun looking at Hall of Fame ballots now because it's all players that played when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
We're growing up, so it's different than when we were kids seeing the Hall of Fame ballots because we just could watch highlights and stuff on YouTube and stuff. We're like, now these are guys that we watch play all the time. So the first one for me, I remember specifically the first guy where I was like, damn, I'm getting old because I watched him play when I was a kid was Ken Griffey Jr. When he got in, I was like, shit.
Next year's firsts like projected first is going to be insane for our childhood.
Give me some. Let's see.
Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, Chase Utley, Bartolo Colon, Matt Holliday, Adrian Gonzalez. There's a lot.
You think? Who was the second one you said? You said
Mauer.
Beltre, and then you said Mauer's an interesting one.
Mauer
Bartolo
right now
got to be in just for the home run he hit.
Yeah. I mean,
Bartolo and Mauer they have. Beltre they have as a shoe-in, but the other two guys they have like as a potentially getting in.
Joe Mauer, I think's got to be in, dude. As a catcher, 2,000 hits, 150 homers, hit over 300.
Yeah, I mean,
OPS plus of 124. That's a Hall of Famer, if you ask me. Won an MVP, 6 All-Stars, 3 Gold Gloves, 5 Sluggers, and 3 batting titles. The 3 batting titles alone, especially as a catcher, that's nuts. Hit 347 and 365 in 2 of those seasons. That's nuts.
Oddly enough, they have Chase Utley like as less likely to get in.
I believe that. He's not, again, he's a guy, it's just a fan favorite. His numbers weren't really that nuts. So didn't have 2,000 hits, hit 275, only 260 homers.
Chase Utley can suck a toe.
Why? Because of what he did to Ruben Tejada?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Well, he just laid it on the line. He did basically kill Ruben Tejada, though.
Broke his leg.
Yeah. Did you see, what was it, you ever see the prank that John Kruk pulled on Chase Utley when he was a rookie?
Didn't you light him on fire or some shit?
No, so he played, he's 2 months into his rookie season, and they call him into the manager's office, and Krucky is there, and he goes, so we just heard word from the MLB that they didn't correctly do the paperwork to add you to the 40-man roster. So now the Phillies have to forfeit every game that you appeared in. And Chase Utley's freaking out. and they were like, MLB sent me to tell you this, and they're going through it. Chase Utley's freaking out. He's scratching his head. And then Kruk goes, there's one weird thing about this, though. And he turns to me, he's like, do you really think the MLB would fucking send John Kruk to tell you this information? It's so messed up. But yeah, that was when he was a rookie, so that was in 2003. Yeah. But that's a classic story. Again,
we're fucking old.
But again, Chase Utley, core of one of the most exciting. That Phillies team was fucking awesome. So
Sam, 2025, your boys projected to be first on the first ballot.
Was that Braun?
Tulo.
Oh, Tulo.
Yeah.
That's it, right, bro.
Brian, oh my god.
I don't think he's making this.
The Hebrew Hammer.
No, I don't think he's getting in.
I mean, the dude hit almost 400 home runs
on roids.
All right, it was cough medicine.
Sure.
He actually, if you guys recall correctly, he got a suspension. He's the only player to ever get the suspension overturned. So, yeah, I mean, dude hit 350 ding dongs, almost 300. But
Tulo was projected as not even close.
Tulo is not. He's kind of like Uke. He's kind of a courtesy call, just as a solid big leaguer. But he's not close. I forgot he played for the Yankees too. He played 5 games for the Yankees.
Sure did.
Yucky. But yeah, I think that kind of covers our Hall of Fame stuff.
Yeah,
sure
so
does.
Next
Bronson
week,
Arroyo is getting in for sure, not a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Just for this, just for drilling A-Rod is one, and also for enduring the slap from A-Rod when he slapped the ball out of his glove. And then he also did.
A-Rod's like, I'm running.
He just slaps it. Just smacks it out of the glove. I did nothing. I did not hit her. I did not.
I did not.
But yeah, Cam, we want to run a couple trivia questions out here to round out the show.
Name the first Met to drive in 100 runs. Rusty Staub, Cleon Jones, Darryl Strawberry, or Don Clendenin?
Klondike?
Right.
I'm going to say Darryl Strawberry. No, because the Mets are pretty
Say the first two again.
Rusty Staub and Cleon Jones.
I'm going to go Rusty Staub just because he sounds cool.
Going Darryl.
It was Rusty Staub.
Really?
Yeah.
Chalk one up for the boys back home.
Got one more easy one. True or false?
A couple, yeah.
The Yankees were the only team to have back-to-back MVP winners in the 1960s. Going way back.
I'm going to say, I know Mantle won one. Did Ron Guidry win one? I'm gonna say yes.
True. False.
Really? I know they won a couple in the 60s, right?
So yeah, so they did, but you were looking. They said they were the only team to have multiple MVPs in the 60s.
Who else had one?
The Dodgers with Maury Wills and Koufax.
See, kids, this is why it's important to listen to the entire question before you answer.
Who won the two? I know Mantle was one of them in the 60s. Who was the other one?
DiMaggio.
They had 4 straight. Roger Maris in 60 and 61, Mickey Mantle, and then Elston Howard.
Elston Howard, that's right, yeah. I forgot Maris won back-to-back ones, too.
Professional crime dog, Roger Maris. Aaron Judge is the real...
hey, that's Roger Maris Jr.?
Oh, whatever.
Fuck that guy, too.
Yeah.
Fraud.
Aaron Judge hits a ball off his teeth in the outfields this year.
Got any more good ones from this week?
Looking through the past week. Which of the following players reached the Hall of Fame in 1984?
All right, let's see.
Harmon Killebrew, Louis Aparicio, Don Drysdale, Pee Wee Reese, or E, all of the above?
I feel like it's got to be all the above, but I don't think it is. I don't think Harmon Killebrew was that early.
He played in the 60s. Harmon Killebrew probably was a first ballot, though.
I'm going to go Luis Aparicio.
I'm saying Harmon Killebrew. It's going to be
all the above.
Fucking bullshit.
Come on.
That makes no sense that Pee Wee Reese and Harmon Killebrew got in on the same ballot. Pee Wee Reese played with fucking Jackie Robinson.
Jesus.
He did.
Oh, my God.
Like, that's literally a 25-year gap.
I'm not reading that one. That's too long.
Give us a short one, and we'll wrap it up.
And then the other one I have is... Yeah, no, that one's stupid. We won't do the one that's today's. The other one I have is what we already posted on Twitter.
Did we get the answer for it?
Name the most
recent team. Question, because I didn't hear it.
Name the most recent team to win Game 1 by at least 10 runs, but lose the series, the World Series.
The World Series. By 10
A, the
runs.
Braves.
Okay.
B, the Brewers. C, Athletics, or the White Sox.
I'm trying to think of. Well, none of those teams have recently won or been in a World Series and lost it.
There was 2 correct answers though, but it gave 2 answers, but there's really only one. It's weird.
So it can't be. So they would have to lose the World Series. So the White Sox most recently won a World Series. The Brewers, I can't even remember the last time they were in a World Series. The Athletics, can't even remember it. And what was the last one?
The White Sox.
What wasn't there a fourth one?
That was the fourth one. Brewers, Athletics,
Braves was the one I didn't hear. I'm going to say Braves, but the other one is the White Sox.
Wrong.
Neither of them?
It's the Brewers and White Sox.
Interesting.
1982 Brewers used 17 hits to deck the Cards 10-0 in Game 1, but the Cardinals, after falling behind 3-2, returned to win Game 6 and 7.
I guess the Braves, because they had that kind of skid in the 90s where they went to the World Series like 3 times, whatever, and they lost the first one. So, I don't know. Interesting. All right, well,
this week kind of sucked.
It's the off season. We got to get by,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So next week we're not going to have a traditional pod. We're going to try to throw up a little vlog ski of Red Sox winter weekend. We'll be there Friday for the town hall, and then Saturday kind of a full day type event with panels, stuff like that. Hopefully, we're going to be meeting some players. Hopefully, get a little maybe mix in a couple questions, get on the vlog, get a little player interaction in there. But I think that's going to go pretty dope. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I've been looking forward to that for a while.
2 months for this shit.
Yeah. I'm super stoked on that. Looking forward to it. After that, we'll be back to our regular scheduled program. Probably going to be getting to WBC pretty soon once all the rosters
hopefully
start
some
dropping.
more World Baseball Classic content comes out.
They gotta have to be finalized soon, right?
Probably. The other thing I was going to say, an interesting thing we could check out is spring training invites. Just to see if there's any prospects that have gotten spring training invites, prospects that we thought would get them and didn't. Stuff like that could be an interesting little dive.
Yeah.
February 7th, the 30-man rosters are due for the WBC.
Okay.
And their Team USA is down a player now with Story getting hurt.
Yeah. The crazy one for me
RIP.
that Wayno is pitching for the WBC team. I'm like, really, dude? That arm's only got so much going on for it, so...
Nah, this is the last year. He's going all or nothing.
Dude's a horse. He's going out there chucking 97.
Kershaw's pitching for him, too, after surgery last year.
I knew that, yeah. I'm stoked. There's a lot of good baseball stuff coming up. We're keeping the offseason pretty active. Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting us all the way out. Keep subscribing, hitting those likes, giving us some downloads on Spotify. Whatever it is, whatever clicks you give us, we appreciate it. We're kind of doing a little test run of some merch right now. Hopefully have that pretty soon, Cameron, right?
Yep. We'll be wearing it. We'll be wearing it on Saturday in the vlogs.
Yep. So yeah, you'll see that. And hopefully if they come out pretty sweet, maybe get a little Shopify type page up and maybe start pushing out some merch. But other than that, you guys got anything to throw out there before we take it off air?
Nope.
No, sir.
Got nothing.
All right.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
We have been the Bush League Boys. We'll see you next week for a vlog and then back at it after that. We go!
Oh, we both danced there.